Hello again, and the last time we was talking, where I left off in the video, is how me and Sunny are similar, and what the similarities are, and my experiences with that power of like illuminating blind spots and destroying the old to bring in the new. And I think that's really the biggest and best example I can give. This video, or at least, like I said, I don't know how to edit this video. I'm not sure it's one big one or it's cut in two, but I talked a lot just about the crystal, and I really don't feel like there's much else I can really say. Like I can say like a lot of things, but at the same time, I don't want this video to be an hour long, which is probably why I need to be doing more podcast type of stuff because the videos take up a lot of space on my computer, and I don't have that type of space. And I talk a lot and I spew out all this information. So a podcast is probably a lot better medium, besides the videos. But anyway, so that's how this is. I just showed you or talked about how crystal familiars work and how they relate to you. And I guess another good point that I felt arising from my being is that, these crystal familiars are you in essence. And it's just like another part of you. It's like just like you are a part of your broader self, your higher self, you're a piece of that, yet you're whole and complete in yourself. So are these crystals. It's almost like another extension of you, which you are an extension from source or whatever higher power that you believe in. And the real key, or the real like maybe purpose, I'm not exactly sure how to word it, but the real meat in having a crystal familiar is the fact that, and I forgot what I was going to say. It just disappeared that fast. You know, I could have said onomatopoeia. Okay, so, but like, I guess the real meat of the relationship is just not just having a deep connection with your crystal, but, you know, your crystal has a lot to say. That's something I can agree with. I feel like when you have a crystal familiar, when you have that crystal that does matches your energy on a deep, complete soul level, there's a lot of information in there for you. And if you're unaware of it or you're not conscious of it, then you won't really get that. It takes, not just clarity, but attention and focus to really get to the things you really want, because I'm going to be really honest. In today's world, especially in like really developed countries, with internet and you know really convenient places, we have hot running water and, like I said, internet and TV and media and stuff like that. We fill our lives with a lot of bullshit, and I'm not going to say I don't like stuff or material items. I do, but I know lately that I've been really questioning the I guess the state that this world really is in. Not like the state in the world is in, but how much emphasis we put on these external things, especially when it comes to social media, because you know it really took off in the last 10 years. And because of that, there's like this whole new sort of set of standards or rules that we have to abide to once again. And as humans and wanting to be a part of the group and all that, we want to feel valued, we want to feel special, we want to feel connected to who we really are. So we feel like we have to jump through all these hoops, wear the right clothes, say the right things, drive the right car, have this amount of money to feel like we are viable and we are worthy and we're like a part of the crowd, like we're a part of something bigger than ourselves. But what I've been coming up to the conclusion of, like, and this is talking about my own personal feelings on the topic that I just mentioned, is that all the stuff that I'm clamoring for, all the things that I feel like is going to make me happy, are just things. No amount of money can really depict the value of who I am. No amount of clothes is going to do that. No amount of likes, or the whole thing. And I'm not going to say it's bullshit, because it's not, because there's a lot of positive in it, but it is a huge distraction. And it distracts me from who I really am. Because if I didn't have those thoughts of I need to be a certain way, then I'll be doing exactly what it is that I really am, and be happy with that person. But of course, I'm focused on something else, so I don't get that benefit. And I feel like that's a key thing with a lot of people in today's world. And it's pretty sad because you know I've definitely learned within myself that, again, you can't put, like, there is no physical measurement in this physical universe that can accurately, you know, describe your worth. There's nothing on this planet that can do that. And people try so hard to do that, and they really feel like these external things can give them those things. And it's not about that. It's about only you can, subscribe your worth to yourself. It comes from your own feelings. It doesn't come from how other people feel about you or what you have and yada yada yada. It comes from you. And we have to make it a point that we have to like ourselves right now. Because I'm a fucking mess. Life is going bananas and things could be going downhill pretty soon. I don't know what's going to happen in my life. And it's all these different things that I feel like I need to have to be an adult and have all together. And I simply don't have those damn things. And there's a lot of stuff that I don't have that I feel like I should have and need and all the other stuff, but I don't have. And I'm coming to a point where I'm okay with that. I'm okay with being who I am. And a lot of the stuff that I feel like I needed, I really don't need. It comes from a place of lack. And at the end of the day, I'm really am starting to enjoy myself because I already know what makes me happy. What makes me happy is art and drawing and creativity. That's the thing that makes me happy. So I don't need all these outside extra stuff like the gluttony, the seven deadly sins type of thing, like the gluttony, to fill that void, because I already know how to fill that void, and it's with art. And that kind of takes away the power of an external influence or the authorities that I feel like I have to listen to feel like I need to. It takes away the power of whatever authority I feel like I have to listen to feel like I'm like succeeding in life. So with that being said, you know, what this crystal has been showing me is really who I really am, and really busting the myths, if you will, about what life is and should be about. And I feel like that's what a lot of people need these days. Maybe that's my purpose too, to help people see themselves in a clear light, because this is a clear crystal. So when you put light into it, it's going to show rainbows. It actually has a lot of rainbows in it. Ah! It actually has a lot of rainbows in it. Such a butterfingers. And all kinds of cool stuff in it. It's a very beautiful stone, and I cherish it so much. And I feel like, just like this stone shows me about who I really am, I'm doing that for others as well. And it's something that I've been doing like my whole life pretty much. And it just really shows you how powerful any kind of crystal can be, because even though they call us a master class crystal and everything like that, I feel like all crystals have a special purpose. And when you find your crystal familiar, you're going to have a really really cool relationship with it. And that's the best part, that it really is different from everyone else. So I'm just giving my personal experience, but yours will be different. And I guess with that being said, because I don't even know where I even started from this, is how how do you find your own crystal familiar? And actually, I guess before I talk about that, how did I find out about crystal familiars? I guess more on that note. What actually happened is that my friend, the same friend I was talking about before, her favorite crystal is amethyst. And that was her favorite crystal. That was the crystal that she felt like was like her. And I was just like, I want a crystal like that, because I don't want to I don't want to go into this next topic. Here we go, like topic and topic and topic. No wonder I get lost in what I'm talking about. But her favorite crystal was amethyst, and my crystal, well, it still is my favorite crystal, but at the time, my top favorite crystal was citrine. And the reason why it was my favorite crystal, because I guess you could say this is a crystal familiar of my spirit guide Joe. And when you read the description, which is all about, it's a good luck stone, it's happy. This is a natural citrine, and they're clear. The citrines that are like colored, that's like yellow, orange, gold, that golden color is like heat treated. So that's why. But anyway, they typically are yellow, and this is like, it is a little color. It's not clear like a regular quartz. But I digress. But when I read about the crystal and the energies and stuff like that, I'm like, that's the stone of my spirit guide, and and I fell in love with it. And so that was like my like favorite crystal, my personal favorite for a really long time. Because before then, I didn't have a favorite crystal. So when my friend was always talking about the amethyst, and over time, not like saying she was just blabbering on about it, but when we talk about crystals and stuff, and how she mentions the amethyst, I was just like, I want that, because even though I really liked this crystal and it was one of my favorites, I did feel like I had that type of relationship that my friend was having about her crystal. So I was just like, what is my crystal? What would be the equivalent of her relationship with her amethyst would be for me? And how I got to this crystal is very convoluted as fuck. But I basically, well, how I first um found out about the Herkimer Diamond was on someone else's Etsy store, and she was making twin flame jewelry. And then I guess a couple of months later, when I forgot about the Herkimer Diamond, I was having a meditation, and in the experience, my twin flame put this stone in my hand, and that's when I forgot how the rest of it goes. Like I said, it's very convoluted, a lot of steps. But long story short, it was just like, I gotta get a Herkimer Diamond. I found one on Etsy. I saw this particular one. I was like, that's the fucking one. And however long later, like about a week, this came in, and like even the box itself was just like almost illuminated. It was so powerful. It was like insane. So that's how I got this diamond, and you know it was just like love at first sight, and we just been like totally attached. Like I carry it with me everywhere, like in the house. Like I rarely take it outside because I don't want to get lost or anything like that. And this is, like I said, is a really happy stone. I feel like my experience with working with this stone actually expanded my intuitiveness towards other stones, because now I'm feeling the other personalities and energies of my other stones, like to the point where I know I'm going off tangent again, excuse me, but I have a Himalayan quartz, smoky quartz. It's something like that. I'm not exactly sure, but I know it has Himalaya in it. And it's actually triple terminated. And that stone feel like, what I felt from that stone is that it felt so out of place. It did not like being in my other pool of crystals. And when I felt that, I'm like, you know what? That's how I actually feel about the crystal too. I feel like I have no real purpose for it. Like it doesn't have a real place, because the original purpose of it, which was related to like twin flame and stuff like that, it died out. So it's just like this crystal just hanging around. And even though I would put it on my chest and try to do healings with it, it just it was very awkward, to say the least. And so I can tell the crystal wanted to be by itself. Like it doesn't like all these clashing energies of being in the little bowl of crystals that I have. So I put it in my drawer, and it's a lot happier now. Even though it still is like, oh my God, I feel like I'm not being used and having like a bitch fit. But yeah, that's like a whole different thing. But the point is, like, working with this crystal expanded my abilities with working with other crystals. Like it's very much more in tuned and sharpened and everything like that. And that's like, you can't pay enough money for that, right? So that's how I guess the whole crystal familiar thing kind of developed and where it came from. So how do you find your own crystal familiar? Because I don't know about you, but when it comes to like, I want to say, well, alter egos as well, but when it comes to personalizing yourself in like a different form, it's something that I always love. It's just, I don't know, I love it. It's like, what crystal would you be? What color would you be? What ice cream flavor you would be? I love that type of stuff. So, if you're like that, you're just like, how do I find my own? And what magic will it hold once I behold it? Basically, you gotta send out to the universe because I actually have been asking or been like, I want a stone like my friend has too for maybe like a year. Like it took a long time, but at the same time, was it clamoring for it per se? So it didn't, I guess it didn't feel as long, even though I was like, I want that type of crystal relationship. But really put out there in the universe. And I guess the next thing I'll talk about is like, how do you know if your crystal is a crystal familiar? You will feel a very different connection to it, and you will feel that the essence of it is meaning is meaningful to you. It feels like as if it's hard to describe because I'm feeling it right now and I'm trying to put attach the words to it. Let me ask Sunny. So Sunny, help me with the words. It's sort of like when you hold a child, like a baby, and you kind of feel this sort of overwhelming familiar familiar this familiar feeling. I don't know. And I don't know how to hold a baby is like that, but because babies are very close to source because they're not like um been tempered with today's society or whatever society in, so they all cut off from source like everyone else and stuff like that. But it's when you hold a child and you kind of feel that familiar feeling of innocence and just who you really are. And I can definitely say that's a really good description of it. Is and I'm having a deja vu, and I feel like having a deja vu of a deja vu of another video that I had a deja vu, and I'm not kidding, that wasn't a joke. That's really how I felt. But anyway, you will feel this sort of this familiar feeling. It just feels like this sort of unspoken connection. And if you're unsure, really just work with the crystal, hold it in your hand, ask the questions, the whole nine. Really get to know your crystal because I didn't know this was my crystal familiar till maybe till last year. That's when it actually came to me like, oh my God, this crystal is more like a guide and like a familiar than, you know, any of my other crystals because I still love this crystal, but I don't feel that connection. I've been working with citrines for years, but it just does not hold up when it comes to this. So you will feel that connection. And like I said, if you don't have any crystals around you that you have currently that is your crystal familiar, one is one is going to show up for sure, especially since this is like it's mirroring it mirrors your energies and stuff like that. So put it out there in the universe. Be open to it. Even ask another crystal. Ask another crystal to help you. If you have a favorite crystal, like I have a citrine, ask that crystal to bring forth your crystal familiar. And be prepared for it because it's going to really magnify all the things that you are. And like I said, maybe it's not specific to Herkimer Diamonds, but you know it will bring up a lot of stuff and you gotta be prepared for it because it could be really intense. Like not even some, but a lot of us is just not prepared to see us for who we really are because, like I said before, we're so attached to um, these lackluster beliefs, and it seeing who you really are really challenges everything. And I feel like that's why I'm having this period of, you know, this materialism versus who you really are and sort of like the fast-paced lifestyle that we live and that whole thing. And even with all the stuff I was saying that I'm not saying it's bad inherently. It's not inherently bad. It's just I'm questioning myself within it. So I guess I'm not sure if that was even helpful as far as how to find your own because it seems the typical like new age type of answer. How this, that, and the third, blah, blah, blah. How do I do this? Hacks the universe, but that's how things really work. We feel like things work in a physical manner because we put action to it, but it's not. Here's the secret of the universe. Everything works is on an energy level first before it's manifest. So if you want to manifest a new home or a pet or a dog or a video game, you have to cultivate that energy within yourself first because everything comes forth from non-physical energy. So that's the $1,000,000 answer for you. But I think that's about it. Oh, I guess to oh, I guess I want to talk about this stone a little more. Yeah, this is pretty much like my spirit guide in stone form because citrines are really popular. You know, a lot of like these are easy stones to work with. So you might already know what the hell a citrine is, but I guess what makes this stone similar to my guide is that it's yellow, and that's the color of. I didn't even notice that. This is clear, like it's a quartz crystal, and I'm a crystal child, so my aura is clear. And this is like my guide stone, Joe, and his aura is yellow. Okay, so that's another point. I'm not saying this is like an actual criteria, but maybe, more than likely, who knows, the stone's color matches your own like core energy or your aura. Let me know if you find out about your crystal familiar and all this stuff. You know, let me know because I feel like crystal familiars are like so cool, and that's why I wanted to do this video because I feel like I found this really cool thing, and I feel like people can definitely benefit from it because it's really fun. You know, because spirituality, it shouldn't be like a boot camp. We're not in a fucking army. You know, it's supposed to be fun because it's a natural thing. But that's another video. But yeah, even though this stone isn't yellow, citrines, most of them are yellow. And it's like the merchant stone. It stands for good luck. Joe is like very business savvy. Um, he has this really pure, happy energy, and I can definitely relate to the good luck. I can relate that to the good luck. And what else? Because I'm just trying to go off from like the bullet bullet points of the crystal versus my own interpretation because I don't want to give out any information that might be too far off for someone that's just getting into crystals. So I want to kind of give them a good primer versus something that's more interpreted to my own experience and they get thrown off the path or whatever. Maybe they can't really do that, but you know. All right, we're going to 22 minutes, so yeah. Another thing that this stone relates to my guide is that again it's a very happy stone and it stands for positivity, good luck, and it's self-cleaning. You don't have to clear these stones because they're one of the few crystals that don't like hold in like negative energy, and they actually clear out other crystals as well. And my guide Joe, he rarely ever gets upset. I mean, part of it might be because he's already dead and he don't has to deal with real life shit. But you know, I know for me, when I get really down and out, he'll say something to me, like he's proud of me or how much he loves me or something like that. And I feel like all the stuff that I'm feeling inside that was so horrible is just like lifted. Like here's another good example, probably the last one I'm going to make because this video is already too long. But this is why I was going through a breakup from like 99 years ago or 5 years ago. And this particular morning, I felt so shitty. Like I felt really fucking bad. And just to make a point, like this has to be within a year or two of meeting my guide via like channeling, because I discovered that on some really offshoot shit like in 2009. And you know, I was getting really used to having Joe around, everything like that, and just having that experience in my everyday life. But like I was sitting on the corner, not sitting in the corner, but I was laying down. I was on like near the corner of the bed, and I was just like feeling like shit. Then all of a sudden, he's just saying how much he loves me and how much he appreciates me and how, you know, how such a good person I am and everything like that. And I swear to you, all of that horrible bad feeling just lifted from my being, and I haven't felt it since, like for like years. And I was just amazed. And you know, the reason is because when somebody kind of opens that door for you to let your light shine, to let that love in, you know, it's transformative, and it just changes the game like overall. So I don't know. I'm I'm always having a hard time finding the word because Mercury retrograde said so on the day of my birth. But yeah, I'm going to end it here. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Um, if there's anything you want to ask you want me to speak about or anything on this topic, you know, let me know. And just what you think. And if you have a crystal familiar or, you know, feel like you have one, you know, let me know because I would like to, you know, hear about it because I love stuff like that. And also go to my website, thegoldenmirror.blogspot.com. Whatever, it'd be in the description. I do readings right now, not right now, but I'm doing only energy readings because those are the most like accurate and intense ones. And just like I was talking about with the whole Herkimer Diamond and how I, you know, clear out the blind spots, that's exactly what those readings do. So if you are ready for that, go ahead and contact, well, you can actually go to my store and get on it. But, you know, anyway, if you want a reading, just, you know, get one basically. And go to my Twitter and all that social media bullshit. But yeah, like I said, I enjoyed this video. I hope you guys enjoy, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye. Say bye, Shani. Say bye bye, Shani.